All right, everybody, welcome back to Simply Bitcoin, the channel that breaks down all the daily Bitcoin news, memes, daily fail, and of course, the software releases. But first, we're going to kick it off with the Clark Moody dashboard. Okay, we're going with a block height of 652,918, Bitcoin price of 11,512, chain rewrite days of 521, and total lightning capacity 1,066.53 BTC. Oh, it's hanging around. It's okay. We're building a base.
I jinxed it with Satoshi the chicken, Phil. I jinxed it. Ever since that day that I announced that he was going to, whatever chickens do, quack, it's just been disappointed. Anyway, Phil, it's time for
the Daily Fail. Fail is brought to us by the co-host of the POV crypto podcast. And shout out to CK, right? The CK co-host with Mr. David Hoffman.eth. And it's kind of funny that, he does a podcast with a Bitcoiner. But so check this out. He said, by the end of 2021, more companies will hold ETH on their balance sheets than BTC. They'll need it so they can transact on Ethereum. Okay, so everyone's gonna so the banks are gonna hold ETH because they need to pay for gas. It's just so weak, man. Like I'm sorry. Like you come up with this after we clearly have seen companies buying one specific digital asset, right? Bitcoin. That's it. So I get the hopium behind it, but the reality is, at the end of the day, I think that when corporations take a serious look at Ethereum, they are not going to want to invest their money. And if any companies do put any money, let's be honest, it's the circus. They're simply putting money into the casino of the circus. That's all it is. There's no monetary policy behind it. Okay, there's no hard cap. We've already discussed this a million times. They can't even figure out how many coins they have at any given time. So there's no way that somebody is going to trust billions and billions of dollars of their shareholders' money and their board of directors to a bunch of clowns, hoping with unicorns. So
I absolutely agree. I think you covered it so well. Phil, what could you tell our audience? What would be a lesson of today?
It's not, it's just not going to happen.
I like it. Short and simple. Nico's got a lesson, right? I usually don't have lessons. And my lesson is don't let your bags cloud your judgment. And I've seen this happen so many times.
I like that. Some good Nico wisdom right there.
It's rare, but
that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's bags clouding judgment.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that, brother. All right, Phil, it's time for
the Daily Meme Review.
All right, Phil, so I'm going to surprise you. I found a good meme. This is the content. This is the Limitless movie, but they've memeified it.
Nice.
And get ready.
Let's get the board ready.
In the end, how much worse could it get?
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets.
I was blind, but now I see.
Can you characterize everything that the Fed has done this past week as essentially flooding the system with money?
Yes, exactly.
And there's no end to your ability to do that.
There is no end to our ability to do that.
No end.
Simply flooded the system with money.
Yes, we did. That's another way to think about it. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally. So we as a central bank, we have the ability to create money.
I go home and ask him, said, why don't we learn about money in school? And he looked at me and says, because the government doesn't let us teach that subject. The government tells us what we can teach and what we can't teach. And I thought that was strange. And I said, but aren't we going to school to learn about money? He says, no, your job is to get a job.
Dude, that was some great propaganda.
That was.
All right.
All right.
What are you going to give it?
I am going to give it 8.5.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to be Nope. I'm not going to give it that. I'm going to be a little bit nicer. I'm going to give it an 8.7.
7.
So why do you give it an 8.5?
Okay, so look, I love the messaging, obviously. Good messaging. Just found that it was like a little bit maybe slow and kind of clunky. I don't know, like it was like I totally love it. Like it was it was well done, and it was the proper messaging, but I don't know, it just felt kind of clunky.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It was totally dragged out. Like it started off super strong, and then they could have made that amazing, but I don't know. They just dragged it out. But I really liked the messaging, and it was very informative, and it's definitely will lead some people into asking questions.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it was good. Phil, it's time for
The Daily News, sponsored by.
All right, so man, this was huge news. This is huge news. This is a big deal, guys.
Like they said, this had been foretold that we would have this. We would have this by Christmas.
And it happened. It did happen
Earlier.
It happened before Christmas. So Schnorr and Taproot, ladies and gentlemen, has been merged into Bitcoin Core. This is a big deal. We've been discussing this for quite a bit. This article goes into the details. There will have to be some type of soft fork that does activate it. I'm sure there's going to be more details covering that. But ladies and gentlemen, Schnorr and Taproot has been merged into Bitcoin Core.
And to all the salty haters that sit there and constantly try to clown Bitcoin with there's no development. There you have it.
Phil, dude, let's talk about that a little bit more, because you said it, you summarized it perfectly yesterday, how Bitcoin has to be methodical about what they incorporate into the software versus Ethereum that just moves fast and breaks things, and that doesn't work for a new monetary system.
No, exactly. It definitely doesn't. And the problem is that, people they get fooled by the technology, they get fooled by the narratives. But if you really take a step back and you think about it, do you really want these things, right, that are unsure, that do not have the track record, the security, okay, or the network that Bitcoin has to hold your value? It's not practical. It doesn't make sense. I wouldn't trust, especially when you understand that the person who wrote the smart contract is the one who pretty much controls it. Do you really think that that's where your wealth belongs?
Nope.
Anyways,
I completely agree, man. That you when you said it yesterday, my head was like, that's such a good point. Phil, listen, this is crazy. This is crazy. I don't know what's going on, okay? But maybe something happened over there at, our favorite crap coin casino. And, Jack even said it was great. Adam Back, which is a Bitcoin legend, said it's an improvement. I completely agree with that standpoint. And Coinbase tweeted about it, and they announced that, they're beginning a search for at least 2 Bitcoin development grants, and man, that's awesome that they're supporting, the Bitcoin, the development in Bitcoin, and not all those crap coins that they host. So, and you heard it from Jack, and Jack is strictly Bitcoin only, and especially on his own platform of the Cash App and Square. And Adam Back, which is, literally a Bitcoin legend. He I think he's the head of Blockstream. Correct me if I'm wrong, Phil. And yeah, I mean, look, I'm not a fan of Coinbase, but it's very positive that they're supporting strictly only Bitcoin in that example.
You know me. I'm cautious on this. I don't like Brian Armstrong. I don't care for the stupid hack team that he hired and all the BS. The reality is that, you know what? I we appreciate that they're, you know, helping out Bitcoin Core developers, but my applaud to Coinbase and his team definitely remains silent until further notice. I don't trust it.
Meh. I agree with you, but
So-
I am happy that, you know, they're funding the development of Bitcoin. So I'm happy about that, right?
It's like a golf clap. All right, give him a golf clap.
We'll give him a golf clap. So
Give him a
golf clap
okay?
from Simply
But
Bitcoin.
he's, you know what I mean? Like, there's, you know, the amount of shit coining that he's done, the BS that he's, you know, pushed into you know, the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. Yeah, it's going to take way more than this. And also, I you know, don't get me wrong, but like they've never really been on Bitcoin's side. So again, that does seem a little suspicious that all of a sudden, like, they're trying to warm up. Like, why is it? Anyways,
It's weird. Maybe it's because the market is, you know, you see all this buzz around Bitcoin, like MicroStrategy, Square. Maybe, you know, maybe they're doing this strategically. I know that they want to IPO, so I don't know. Who knows?
who knows?
Right. But I agree. It just deserves a golf clap. It's not it's not a basketball game clap. Okay, no, it's just a golf clap. Okay.
Yeah, no one's cheering.
Phil, there's actually a pretty big software release today, and I already downloaded it.
Software releases. All right, let's take a look. You already downloaded it, huh? Now you got me curious. All right, so our software releases for today are, we've got Electrum version 4.0.4 that's released. In it, partially signed Bitcoin transactions, or PSBT. They fixed a regression in 4.0.3 where the UTXO data was not included in the QR codes. The cancel TX feature, which essentially allows canceling an unconfirmed RBF transaction by double spending its inputs to self. So we're going to post a link to that down below.
Awesome. Yeah, man, I love Electrum. That's my main wallet. So I was very excited when I saw that. And man, guys, like always, you know, we're going to put that in the description. But guys, don't forget to check your signature, especially on wallets like that. Guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of Simply Bitcoin. It's been an awesome week. We have a special guest for next week. We're not going to tell you what it is, but anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and tune in tomorrow for more Simply Bitcoin.